So we went to LA for my book tour. We decided might as well open up the promise and the movement that we felt like the book would create with a bang. So we headed to California for it. I found out that we were going to be talking at the Sabon Theater in Beverly Hills a few weeks before, as usual. Oliver, my husband, who is amazing and works at the speed of light and constantly is changing his mind, and he just kind of goes with this intuitive energy even in business. And so he's like, oh, we're going to the theater and I'm gonna pack it and we're gonna talk, and what are you gonna talk about and all this stuff. And I'm like, I have a whole book tour. I've got so many things I gotta do with press and all that stuff. And I'm like, and now the first thing you wanna do is throw me on stage in front of 1,000 people? Okay, let's do it.
Welcome to the stage, Mandy Morris!
I see growth as if I'm being presented an opportunity to do something that I haven't done before that will stretch me, even though 3 days before I'm like, why did I say yes to this? I'm all in. I know that I want to be the most expanded version of me, and I want my comfort zone to basically not exist. So anytime that I'm getting offered a bigger opportunity that I feel is a part of my growth or my further expression, and I get to serve people, I know that I need to do that because I've got to be the greatest version of me so that I can help more people.
You're not used to cameras yet, sir. You will be soon.
It's bikini bread. It looks like chocolate.
We're going to California. We're going to go help a bunch of people.
Why are we going to help now?
It makes mommy's heart happy to help people.
It was a lot of planning, a lot of packing, a lot of just keeping my energy straight more than anything. Travel days are always kind of crazy. I'm usually the one taking care of the kids and making everything happen. So just making sure they're packed and they have everything they need and their snacks and, all the typical mommy things. I don't like traveling. I do not like traveling. I like being somewhere. I do not like traveling. I don't like planes, no matter how comfortable and blessed we are to travel the ways that we do. All right, let's rock. This was the first time that I did a book launch like that. My very first book was self-published. My second book was during COVID, so everything was done virtually. So this book was the first one where I got to be in person and do lots of fun stuff and kind of have a ball with it. The day of the Sabon Theater, it was total madness. We got such a big house too, because we needed to get all of our primary team members in the space with us for support. So we were in this ginormous house, which is, great and fun, but that also means that there's a lot of ins and outs. And so every couple seconds there's someone walking into the bedroom or someone saying, hey, so-and-so's here, and I forgot that they were coming, and that type of thing. And then the kids, of course, every couple hours the baby needs to nurse, or my toddler wants mommy cuddles, getting my hair done because I never do my hair and my hair always looks crazy. I did my own makeup. I probably shouldn't have because I don't know how to do my makeup, but I sure try. And then of course I'm postpartum, so my face is going crazy and, hormonally things are shifting, but when I'm going on stage, it's not about how I look. Although I understand now, I need to look more presentable than me typically jumping on with my pajamas and my hair's still wet, which I have absolutely done in front of many people. But I want to, look decent, but it's not about that. It's about me getting into state and serving. So the rest just isn't that important to me.
I want everyone to see you. You look so good. Are you ready?
Ready. So little did I know there was quite a few things happening at the theater, different issues.
I thought there were 3.
The other one is stuck in traffic.
Oh God, okay.
And I started to know, once I got to the green room and I was like, okay, I'm ready to go on stage. Normally I like to get there and go, straight to stage wherever I'm at. And I think it was an hour and a half or so that I was just sitting in the green room, twiddling my thumbs, when is this gonna get started? Why isn't the theater filling up yet.
They said there's like a line that's wrapping around the entire building, and it's slowly trickling.
Because there's too many people in the lobby.
Why don't we let them in here? We can't.
They said they can't.
What's going on in there, man? Come on, people.
Maybe you have
Are we?
13 minutes.
We have pretty big problems out here, just, you know. Half of your celebrity clients are like missing add-on friends. Sarah, Chris.
Just let them in. Just let them in. Sit them wherever they want.
We're having issues with her packet. It's just having an interference with the RF signals. I just know that
It was madness because the theater had a previous event, and so we had this like tiny amount of time to get in there, get tech going, get everything working, and I decided I'm gonna be super hands-off, and I love you, team, and good luck. That's for you guys to figure out.
it'll hook right over.
Oliver's on the comm every 5 seconds.
Guys,
I just took a shit.
Guys.
6 minutes.
Guys, can you hear
Hello,
me?
Chuck?
Jocelyn, do you have an earpiece, Jocelyn? Jocelyn, can you hear me? Good job, guys. I'm Chuck, 15-minute timer. We're gonna start in about 15 minutes. This is gonna be 10 to 15 minutes. You can just say we're starting in 15 minutes kind of thing. Guys, we're getting there. We're starting in approximately 15 minutes.
Walking out into the theater and seeing all of those beautiful faces, it was just, I felt honored. I always feel so honored to serve. And I always say that when people are like, oh, thank you for changing my life, or, you know, whatever that may be. I'm like, thank you. Like, I'm honored to serve. I get to do my purpose work every day. Like, this is amazing for me. So if anything, I'm like, I'm so grateful that I have something to say that can serve people and make their lives better, let alone, you know, 1,000 people at a time.
Do not ask for something unless you are ready to do the things or be called forth into the person that you need to become to have it. Waste of time. People come to me and say, Mandy, tell me my purpose work. What's my purpose? I want to know my purpose. I'm like, well, I'm not a crystal ball, first of all, but let's just say that for some reason I open up my gifts and I know it. I'm like, would you even do it if I told you? Yes, of course. Okay, quit your job. Leave your toxic marriage. Shine your light. And then they're like, oh. It's funny. Just kidding. I'm not saying that everyone has to do something bold and courageous and crazy and stuff, but we do at minimum have to do the things. Like if we got out of alignment, we might have to break a bone to get it back in alignment sometimes. That's the hard truth. But that's okay, because it's painful sitting out of alignment. It feels good sitting in the divine. It feels good standing in your light. And believe it or not, there are actually more people on the planet that would accept you and love you and protect you in your full light than it is when you're shying away in the darkness.
When I got on stage, and this has happened before, but not remotely to this extent. I have, I think it's my energy that just with the technology. My mics always go out. We can have the best mics, we can have the best things, and there's still just funky things that are happening. You know, once I went on stage, of course my headset goes out. It's doing weird things, it's making weird noises, and I'm like, okay, these people have already waited so long. I'm not about to go troubleshoot a mic. And I talk with my hands normally, and so I'm like, instead I just did a handheld mic, and then we tried a couple different times to fix it. It just wasn't happening. So I was like, okay, we're rolling with it. And I didn't remember it being such a big deal, but I realized when you're in the space of service and you're in a really high frequency, that stuff, I can't go there. I can't think about those things. That's not the time for me to dip in vibration when I need to house a certain frequency to be able to deliver the information I need to deliver and help these people. So I just rolled with it. Oh, hold on, sorry, eyelash just went in my eyeball. That hurt. Yeah, so this damn whiteboard was the bane of my existence. It's not the right markers. The dry erase don't work, of course. And then the ones that were sitting there kind of working, not even thick enough anyways, they're not dry erase, so they're permanent on there. So I have to ask Cornelius, who is, he tailored me up, and he's, this wonderful person, but he was just sitting there, hanging out in the back, shouldn't have had to go and clean the whiteboard every time I was drawing something, but he, so lovingly did. One of the few times where I actually look nice, I can thank Jocelyn, who is behind the camera, for that. She dressed me in a bunch of amazing things. She's one of our awesome team members. And everybody was like, where did you get that outfit? I was like, I have no idea. I do not know. I normally wear literal pajamas on stage or something similar. I felt quite sharp, to say the least, and I kind of like it. I might wear a little bit more of the nice stuff, if you will. So my 13-year-old son was in the crowd. I cuss a lot on stage, I can't help it. I know it's probably distasteful for some, but it's just who I am. Afterwards, he met me in the green room and he was like, Mom, you're so cool. Like everybody was laughing. He was so tickled. I don't think he's ever really seen me in front of, so many people because he sees so much of what I do virtually. So he doesn't know, how I touch people. My sister-in-laws, some of them were there, and then lots of my amazing friends. And they were sitting front row. Yeah, it was really beautiful being able to see people I love.
Thank you all so much for letting me serve you. Thank you so much.
When I got off stage, first of all, I exited the wrong way. So I got to run back across stage because that's typical Mandy style. I did the wrong thing. Then we went to this little VIP room and it was really fun. Got to hug a bunch of people, take lots of pictures, see people I love, people I didn't know, people who had been brought. It was really fun and it was such a great closing to that night and also an opening to, the book tour in general.
I really don't know what happened. I sat down on the deck and she kind of spoke in the beginning of just, just go with it and whatever you feel like afterwards, just follow it, whatever. And then I completely blacked out. I have no recollection. I even said to her later, did you touch me? Like what happened? Don't know what happened. I woke up and I felt this urge to go down into the creek. Mm-hmm. I went and laid in the creek at 10 o'clock.
We thought we lost him. It's like pitch dark and I'm like, where is Ken?
I felt this unbelievable calmness and strength in my own body. I put one foot on the ground and on my life, I told the story in front of you.
I know you guys Christmas though.
My whole body in an instant felt better than my body's ever felt before. The second I put my foot on the ground, I said, what did you do? And she said, I think you were kind of like, I don't.
Yeah, I was like, I don't always remember what I do. I just remember the feeling, and the feeling was like, it's what I guess I do when I'm healing, is I see you so perfect. I'm like, I love you so much, I want you to know your perfection. So I just give that.
I think it's really crazy actually that there's so many people that are close to Oliver and I, but they don't know the vastness of what we do. I think sometimes they're like, oh, well, they're healers. And I think there's an idea of healers and it looks a certain way and that's not remotely what we do. So when I did go on stage and when Oliver went on stage after, these friends who have known us for years, but they haven't maybe fully dived into our work. They're like, what? Why didn't you tell us that you could do that?
Aw, AJ Gibson, you were so wonderful last night. I see the work you've both put in and I'm grateful to have experienced it front row. We both took away so many aha moments from your talk.
Someone else, a week ago I had never heard of Oliver and Mandy, but I went to go see them last night and they are the real deal.
I'm literally on the toilet reading.
Oh my God!
I've literally been sitting on the toilet just lost in the promise.
Lost in the promise. Hey, it's a testament. As you read, you're purging right away.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
No, I love it, Mandy. It's so well written. I love it.
It's the most important book so far that I've written because it's led up to this. My evolution as a person has led up to this book. So all of my previous books were based on where I was at that time. My level of consciousness and what I wanted to give the world. So I think every book gets better in that sense or kind of builds on one another. So this book was like this incredible expression of my love for humanity. And it was written totally from my soul. I wrote the book for anybody who had been through the things that I'd been through. And I don't mean specifically, although that could be the case, but just anybody who has felt like they have been swallowed by the human story, swallowed by their pain or the things that they've gone through or their traumas or just the chaos of the mind and how fast life moves. I grew up in a reality of different traumas and I chose dysfunction because that's kind of what I saw growing up or experienced with different things that I went through. And so I sought that out. When I thought about the person I could have become, and I think about this particular friend of mine that I lost and how I lost him, he was such a light. He was like a big brother to me in high school. And there was just something about him that when he passed, it just rocked me. And I've lost a lot of friends to drugs or suicide or different things. And for some reason, losing him just rocked me to my core. It's painful to watch someone not choose their light. When you see someone or you meet someone or you've lost someone and it was like potential unfound. He had so much potential. He could have been so many beautiful things and he just didn't choose it. And he just got lost in his darkness instead. In some weird way, the people that I have lost and things I have gone through truly do fuel me in helping people now. I use their memory, their light to work through me so that I can help others that are willing to or capable of receiving that help. I don't believe that people are dark. I believe that they are light forgotten. There's goodness in everybody, or there's light in everyone, even if they will never choose it in this lifetime and they will not reach their full potential. I love everyone. I see their divinity. As many people as I possibly can, if I can give that to them and wake them up because of the gift that I was given to show people that they are their divine self and they're capable of far more than they could possibly believe. And I had to go through my own darkness to re-experience that, but that's why I'm here. I think one of the biggest things with people who are going through darkness and why I stick with them is because I can hold space for them. You know, I think when you unconditionally love someone and you see their soul self, it's pretty easy to do. It's something that comes so naturally for me. It's just who I am. It's a part of my essence is, you know, holding people to the highest version of them, yes, but also holding that frame even when they lose it, even when they forget it. I'm solid, I'm staying there. And I see what's possible and I'm not wavering. It's very rare and I can't think of anyone that I've ever met, not that they've always risen to the occasion, but that I've ever met that I don't go, no, you got this. Like, you're gonna choose it or not choose it, but you know, there's never been a point where I felt like someone's not gonna be okay. Watching my husband speak is always so beautiful. Like, it's so cool that I get to speak and that my husband is in service mode too, that we both like serve together. I think that's really rare to be like a genuine, whatever power couple, you know, the definition is to everybody. I feel like we truly are that in like service mode. And it's so much fun, like seeing him walk out and the way that people just love him. I feel like I always say he's like not of this planet, the way he thinks and talks and looks at life and tries to be so unapologetically himself. And it's so beautiful and it's admiration. He was speaking on stages far before I was, and he's one of the reasons that I'm serving today. So when I get to see him do his purpose work, when he really believed in me and mine, it's so deeply rewarding. I feel like, you know, we're here to serve the world, and my God, does that feel good. Living a really structured schedule is not typical for me at all. In my daily life, I am a little bit more free flow, but in LA, there was so much that needed to happen that someone had to keep me on track or I would be late to everything. We are on our way to Good Day LA. I think we're going to talk about my book. I actually don't know what we're going to talk about. Ready? Super grateful to be on there. Loved the two women that I got to speak to.
We have an expert in the house. Mandy Morris is here.
How do you stay calm in the craziness of your life? Even though you're very zen, you've got 3 kids, you are very ambitious. You guys had a huge event yesterday at the Sabon Theater. Congratulations, by the way. It was a big success. You're traveling, you're writing books, you're doing all of these things. Like, how do you keep it together?
I think a lot of it is checking in. I call it like energetic check-ins. So first thing in the morning, midday, and at night, I'm going, where am I at? What am I feeling? What emotions came up throughout the day? So instead of waiting until it's like a pressure cooker and you just kind of explode, I'm dealing and processing with my emotions and my thoughts throughout the day. So it just creates a beautiful space. I've got 3 different hats I have to wear. And so instead of me going, let me just let my energy bleed into the next one, and I'm taking mommy into business mode, which is not going to work, I go, who do I need to be in this moment so that I can show up fully for whoever is in front of me? And then I move my energy into that space. So I'm just transitioning into an identity that works for me.
Wow. It's like very
Sounds
deep.
easy.
I know.
Going on the news is such a great thing because they just make it so easy for you. No,
You're natural too, though. You're just like rolling with the punches. I forgot what they said about that's deep on a Monday. What were you saying?
It was like one moment where I kind of let my full potent energy out, and then I was like, oh, maybe that's too much for news.
That's deep on.
And they were like, whoa, that's deep for Monday. Okay, what's next?
So we are heading out to Baby to Baby in just a little bit, which is an organization that I was introduced to. They disperse everything from diapers, just all kinds of different necessities to children in poverty. Children are always kind of my special twig in life. So anything that is helping a child, I'm all for it. And Baby to Baby is one of those organizations that I trust, and I love the beautiful women that are behind it. And I'm really excited to be there today to be able to bring the whole team and see where we can help, where they need us, and use us however they need to. We got to put little clothing pieces together, but it was so cute. They have music playing, so it's super fun. I could have stayed there for way longer, but we had the next appointment that we had to get to, so we were only stable for a couple hours, but it was so much fun. I love when I see, my oldest is the only one who's actually volunteered yet. My youngest, he wouldn't know what to do. But seeing him, be a part of it, I think it's just so important for him to give back. He's such a blessed kid. And I feel like, when we're blessed, we must, help bless others. And I don't want to force that on him if that's not, natural for him, but you can tell that it is. So it's so beautiful that he wants to come along to these and he wants to be a part of it and he wants to help. I pray every time before I serve, before I write any content, before I get on stage, before I turn on a video on Facebook, anything. All right, God, fill me up. Allow for me to serve in the highest good of all. We are on our way to the Balanced Blonde podcast. I'm excited. I love podcasts because although it's a skill I had to learn of how to say what I wanted to say, succinctly, when Oliver's like, you got 60 seconds to, say something. And I'm like, impossible. I take 5 breaths in that amount of time. But I've gotten better at that. But I love podcasts because then I can really get to the meat of things. And I love conversations. Conversations I think are the greatest way to grow versus just kind of talking at a camera sometimes. So I love podcasts. I'm a little bit picky choosy with what I do now because it is, it's an hour plus of time, but it's one of my favorite ways to connect with people. And every host is so different, what matters to them, what they talk about, their energy. It's fun. Keeps me on my toes. Next kind of big thing was actual publishing date. So we had some of our tech team there making sure that things were running right, and then started a 7-day challenge that was kind of promoting the book and talking about it. And I did a podcast and a couple other things and different interviews. Went on with one of my dear friends, Graham Wardle. He had me on my first book launch on some of his platforms. And so he lovingly had me back on, and I love talking with him. So I believe that we are now live everywhere. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's me, Mandy. We're going into day 2 of our 7-day challenge as we celebrate my book, The Promise.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a live episode of Finding Change. I'm your host, psychic medium John Edward, and today I am extremely excited to bring to you Mandy Morris. Here's my friend. How are you?
I want people to know and feel that they are more in charge of their reality than they could possibly imagine in the best and most beautiful way. And that if they lean into the light that is within them and all around them, that they will be as close to source as they could possibly be in this human experience. And I want that for them because I know how healing and amazing that feels to walk around with that daily. And I want the world to feel that way. Then we got to do a little party. I really wanted my publishing day to just be about celebration because it was a huge feat. It was a lot of work. I wrote that book pregnant, postpartum, everything in between. There's a lot going on in my life, so it was such a labor of love. And so we got to do just a little party. The kids had a freaking blast. We played headbands, and my God, did that go crazy. Everyone was just screaming at each other. It was 20 people in a room, just yelling at one person, and the person's deer in headlights, what is happening? One of my friends, Nikki, she made this beautiful spread of food. She's an amazing celebrity chef and a clinical herbalist and now my business partner as well. And she totally just took care of me alongside Jocelyn and the team, just throwing a really cool party for me. It was so funny. We come out and there's purple wigs, bobs, purple love glasses, of course, and then there was purple boas in front of my big book blow-up thing, whatever that thing is. And the kids loved it. So everyone's just walking around with wigs, and we did this ridiculous dance. We were just having way too much fun, basically. It was great. So we have this big house that we've rented. There's this war room, and it's where all the staff like piles into to like get things done. It's like this one office where I was doing the 7-day challenge, some of the filming, and you open it and there's always like at least 2 people on computers just, you know, running things, making things still happen. It's so funny to think back, like when Authentic Living was created, it was just me, the spiritual activator. My husband wasn't even in it yet. It was just me and him. And then it was me and him and one other person, and then me and him and 2 other people. And now we're like a team of 30, which is actually small for all that we're doing, but everyone's so efficient. Our team's just amazing. They roll up their sleeves, they show up. Everybody is willing to wear like 10 hats. No one is above or below anything, which is my, you know, perception of servant leadership. That's how we should be. And our team's just fantastic with that.
We're gonna film here and there. Can we move everything to Starbucks? This is the saddest dramatic part of the vlog where our price team member leaves us.
After being here for 6 days, when I'm supposed to be here for only 2.
The whole time Oliver is making things happen. He gets really excited about this stuff. He thrives off of that type of, you know, constant movement and go, go, go. We couldn't be wired more differently in that way, I think. So he's, you know, supporting me, making sure I'm good, you know, just being the amazing supportive partner he is. He's also got tons of people coming over who are getting healings from him. You know, he's seen lots of his friends as well. So it was kind of like I'm running in one direction, he's running in the other, and then we meet in the middle, depending on the day and moment. He like put himself on my calendar.
Hey guys, your Filipino Air 1 delivery has arrived. You get a coffee that you don't ever drink.
So when I travel, I'm like, food is one of the biggest things that I have to think about, because I can't just go to any restaurant and eat because I don't like the way I feel if I do that days straight. So it was a mixture of having Chef Edward, who has taken care of us in California before. He came and did a bunch of meal prep, so we had easy stuff to reheat for, you know, the whole house. We ordered a bunch of groceries. Air One is like my love, of course. Who doesn't want a $16 coconut water? And then other than that, I think Oliver and I got one like lunch date.
It is official. It's our first time being alone, first date, while we're here without the kids, even without the camera.
A much needed date day. And sushi, our favorite.
Sushi. We'll be back.
I try to stick with the morning routine. I'm not the best, and I think when you have like small children, morning routines kind of go out the window. But I did try to stick to a few things, and that was journaling, because journaling is so important to me. It clears my energy. It's just my special little thing. And then working out. I work out every morning, even if it's just like a 10-minute, you know, high intensity, whatever thing, or just to get my body moving. I have to move my body. It shifts my energy. It helps anything that, you know, shouldn't be with me throughout the day get out. It's vital, totally vital to me. So the whole time the kids are just having a freaking blast. They have no idea, other than our oldest, that I am, you know, having this huge launch, and it's, you know, work, and it's really important. The baby is just being passed around from aunties and grandma and Miss L. And then my toddler is running around with friends. We have tons of friends who came over, bring their kids. They're all swimming in the pool, running around the tennis court. One thing that I'm really a stickler on, I've never traveled without my children. I don't know if I ever will. I think it's probably so healthy and important for parents to do it, but I can't get myself to do it. So everywhere that Oliver and I go, we travel with like a herd. It's our kids, it's some of our team, sometimes, you know, extra family members that want to come along. So it's always a big orchestration every time we're going somewhere, because I want my babies with me. I think breaks in between the craziness are so important. You know, being able to stop and go swimming with the kids. I was like, I'm gonna get in that damn pool at least once with the kids because it looks so awesome. But I also hate washing my hair, so I didn't want to do it until I like had the time in between. But got to jump in with them, swim around and play with the squirt guns and just celebrate for a bit. It was so fun. Work-life balance? That. I think that's different literally every single moment of every single day. There's no such thing. I think I'm really lucky though, because I do, you know, Oliver works way more than I do by all means. He can work 18 hours straight, but I still work all day long, but I'm home. And so I still get to see my kids. I get to have lunch with them. Like, all the kids are in the house, they're homeschooled. I'm so blessed in that sense. And so I think I probably see balance a little bit differently, because I get those quality moments in so that I kind of can work whenever, however.
Rice? Oh, we have to get rice, okay. Thanks, Ma. Love you. Thank you.
I love Oliver's family. Like, I couldn't be luckier to have such amazing in-laws. His sisters and his mom are these like giving, loving, beautiful, just spiritually gifted, just like Oliver. They're just these amazing, amazing people. And I love them. I genuinely call them sisters and mom because I believe that they're truly my family. And whenever they're around, it's like you never have a kid in your hands. There's always food. There's usually so much noise. Everyone's talking at once. And it's just like that, like true sense of like family, you know? Oliver is in love with his niece, baby Zara, obsessed with her.
Reunited.
I don't get to do those very like feminine, fun, beautiful, flowy things, or I just forget that I enjoy them. And so we did an amazing, like a book tea party at one of my dear friends Zoe's house, and we were able to have this beautiful, you know, party right out the yard, and we did a little book reading. Oliver and I did some energy work, and it was just so cute.
Our vast universe has given us a promise. The energy of light is always something you can tap into because it is who you are. As long as you remember that, it doesn't matter how far you've strayed, how many potholes you've hit along the way, or how treacherous the roads on which you find yourself might be. The light is always waiting for you. And in an instant, like Dorothy tapping her ruby slippers together, it can bring you back home.
Lots of my friends there to support me, and then new friends that I've made as well. Lots of beautiful, powerful women, very influential, very successful. I feel so honored to be able to serve them and also call them friends. My friend Nikki, who formulated all of that incredible goodness, she made some like mocktails and cocktails, and there are these like gut healing herbs and all kinds of different things for your nervous system and heart opening and all that. So everything had such an intention to it. It was so beautiful. And then one of our friends, Chris, came over. I did not know he was coming over. Oliver surprised me. So I'm sitting there with like no bra. Oliver's mic'd up and there's cameras on him. And I'm like, okay, I'll just quietly listen. And then Chris turns around and goes, Mandy, can you jump on? And whatever. I'm like, oh, let me go put a bra on and then I'll be back. He's doing this TV show and he wanted us to be in a segment of it. So I got to jump on too. I just knew, like my soul recognized him. And I think looking back, yes, we were meant to have children and build beautiful businesses and, you know, love each other, but we were meant to do our purpose work together. And then towards the end of the trip, we got to pop by one of our friends, Shannon's. She does hot Pilates in LA, which is unbelievable, and she has the most incredible body, so clearly works. But we got to go and speak to some of her friends and clients for a few minutes and do a little bit of energy work. Everything I do it because I want to bring more love into the world. So that can be, you know, I loved the world so much that I wrote a book. I love the world so much that I'm willing to shine my light. You know, the philanthropic work that we do, everything. So I try my best to bring love into all of my actions and just bring that frequency with me. That was something that kind of surprised me actually, and maybe because we live in the middle of nowhere, so I'm not around a ton of people all the time, but going to LA, every person that hadn't met me before, or maybe was like a friend of a friend, they gave me such a beautiful compliment of like, your energy is so good, or you feel so calm and at peace and centered. You know, it kind of goes back to that reminder that I try my best to walk around and in the frequency of love and to put that in everything that I do.
Can you imagine if every day was like this? Boom, 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 boom.
You would love it, but
I would love it.
not so much me.
Are you sure?
That's why we come to LA every other month, work our tushies off, and then go home. I was excited to go home. Our teenager would live in LA. He was sad that we moved out of California for a while, but my toddler and I are very similar, so we're always like, we miss home, we miss home. So it was nice to come home and, you know, kind of just breathe in. You know, there's no place like home. We built an incredible space with such an amazing frequency. So although I love LA and I love California and I love running around there, it's always nice to come home and just chill. So now the launch is over, the book is out in the world, we're just starting to get reviews and hearing how much people love it, how much it's touching them. It's a really deep book. You know, I didn't hold back on my own personal stories and, you know, what I share. Everyone, I don't know anyone who has read the book so far that hasn't cried. Beautiful tears, mind you, but it's out in the world now, and I feel kind of like, okay, I've done what I was supposed to do, and let's see how humanity receives it. You know, it feels like I was called to write it, so I answered the calling, and I'm surrendering from here, moving forward. But I think the launch in general just kind of put this new frequency into me of some things that I want to do with a few different programs and with my own brand, and just bringing my voice further into my brand. So I'm kind of working on a lot of business shifts right now. Every day literally keeps getting better. My teenager asks me sometimes, like, do you wish you were younger? And I'm like, no. Every year is better. And so the things that are coming up, even just in this year and in the next couple of years, with my work, my purpose, our family, I'm beyond excited. But I've lived a life of excitement for the past decade, since I really kind of opened myself up to being successful and shining my light and finding happiness. And so it just literally keeps getting better and better. Life gives me twists and turns, but it's deeply rewarding. And I can't wait to see who I'm going to be in the next couple years.